Okay, so the sun is finally shining, and thought I'd do my sort of first after the service review slash feedback on this bike, which is my own personal bike. It's the Pan America 1250. I'm sure you've all seen lots of videos about them and read a lot of comments from people that are either loving them or trashing them hard. So anyway, just to give you a bit of a breakdown, some of you may not know, I bought this bike. I actually bought it back in February, and because of the COVID it took a while to get here. This is the first one purchased in Australasia. I hadn't seen any reviews because nobody had them. I just thought, well, Harley Davidson's hardly likely to spend 4 years in development and test every other bike out there if they're going to bring out something that's just not going to cut the mustard. So I backed myself and I bought it, and I'm really glad I did. It's absolutely phenomenal bike. I don't care what people said. It was ugly. They said it looked like a brick, had an odd front end, and all of those things I took into consideration. I did a couple of things to it when I first got it. I changed out the standard windscreen, put a little sexy black one on there that's just still adjustable. Does the job. More of a summer thing. I put on the hardened engine protection on the bottom, and a radiator grille, a metal radiator grille. More importantly, I put on this full Screaming Eagle exhaust system, did away with the catalytic converter, different airbox, the biggest airbox they did, and the electronics that were that made all that come together and happen. Also, I fitted some tank pads just to stop the tank getting scratched up with my riding gear if I'm off-road. And I fitted some risers, Pan America risers, which I think it just feels a bit better as when I'm standing up anyway, getting further over the front. I've added my quad lock for my charging my phone and sat nav and all that. A radar trap anti-hooligan device, which just clicks in there. I should do. Where is it? I've broken it already. And it's got a little LED light that is very bright that lights up when I'm misbehaving or if there's something to talk about. Okay, so I read a lot of comments when this bike first came out about how it's going to be a bucket of shit and it was going to be really heavy and it was going to break down in the middle of nowhere and etc, and Harley stick to what they do best and blah blah blah. This engine for Harley Davidson, I believe, is an absolute game changer. It's quite a high revving engine. It's got variable valve timing and all that kind of gubbins, so it's grunty as, but when you hit 5,500 to 6,000 RPM, this thing is an absolute beast. It absolutely hauls ass. It's got all the electronics, and I never ever thought I'd buy a bike with electronics. And that's the reason I bought the T7 Yamaha, was because I didn't want the traction control and all the crap that came with it. But I'm really glad I did. I'm glad I bought this bike. The ride modes for the wet, exactly. You just switch it, turns the power down, changes all the dynamics of the bike, the electronic suspension, and all of that stuff. I challenge anybody that made a shit comment about this bike when they first saw it, go out and ride one, and then thank me later. Because I've ridden and had many bikes over the years. I'm in my 60s now. All sorts, shapes and sizes, styles. I fell off a few, I've had more speeding tickets than I care to think about, but this is by far the best bike, best handling bike, the fastest bike, the coolest bike that I've ever, the most comfortable bike that I've ever had. You could ride all day in this and get off and you'd still be like a spring chicken. Also, I want to comment on the service that I've received from Harley Davidson, specifically my local dealer, which is East Coast Harley Davidson in Tauranga. Those guys, they absolutely rock. They will do anything to help you, anything to make it work. They'll They think out of the box. The custom guys, the sales team, the workshop guys, right up to the management, you know, you're going to get your coffee and they just look at. I've been in many bike shops and Harley Davidson shops, and I've never had service or been treated as well as I am in there. So it doesn't matter where you are in New Zealand. If you're thinking about buying a Harley Davidson, you look no further than East Coast Harley Davidson in Tauranga. You will get super well looked after. And if you don't, for some reason, ring me. I'll be very surprised. Anyway, this is it. The Pan America 1250, my own personal bike in Deadwood Green. Got a little few extras on it that make personalise it a bit, give it a little bit more grunt. I absolutely love it. It's just had its first service. The tyres are good too. I don't think, you know, these tyres have been worth the cop. I was going to take them out, take them off, and put on the the Dunlop Trail Maxes, which I might still do because I really like those tyres on my T7. But yeah, I can't fault this bike. I haven't found anything about it that I don't like, with the exception of the horn. And the horn is just sounds like you've stood on a duck or something. It's a terrible horn. But apart from that, and I can change the horn. I've already ordered something a bit like a train horn to go on, this little train horn, something that's going to be loud and get the point across. Anyway, test ride a Harley Pan America, and you'll be glad you did, because this bike is full of surprises. You may think I think it's absolutely stunning bike. I don't think it's ugly at all. Not just saying that because I own one, because if you know me, you'll know I'll say exactly what I think, no matter what. So yeah, I love it. I went for a ride, took somebody for a ride on it 2 Up the other day, and down the metal roads, and on a good run. And you know, it's so comfortable. The Harley felt that we're even there, especially on the gravel. It wasn't, you know, it was so easy to control. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it, and I'm so glad I made that choice. I'm probably going to keep this bike. I never keep bikes long, but I'm probably going to keep this one a lot longer than I would normally do. In fact, I've just read today that this is the highest selling Harley Davidson model in North America. They are sold out of these bikes until the end of March next year. The bikes they haven't even made yet, right up to the end of March. So that tells you something, that they must be done something right. The reviews, I've been watching YouTube reviews on people that have ridden this bike, and you know, guys that are a lot better riders than me, and the shit they're doing with it, you know, and look it up. Some people are just insane on these bikes. Yeah, go ride one. Thank me later. See ya.